Hello everyone, I'm MVL and welcome to the shop tour and pickups for Game Zone in Plymouth, also home to Nerd Entertainment, the trading card specialists. And as you can see here, the shop is full to the brim with new games and retro entertainment. And if you stick around to the end, I'll show you my gaming pickups and gameplay footage for every game. So the first thing that drew my eye on the outside is this Lara Croft Tomb Raider statue. And man, if I had room, I would put one of those up in my house, no joke. Also here we have some action figures, some Walking Dead, and some Lego. And on the other side of the entrance we have some more action figures showing they have a wide variety of things in the shop. And just over here in the front window we have a feast of visuals for your retro entertainment. We have some boxed and unboxed consoles, a Nintendo 64 in translucent green, a Mega Drive, over here a Mega Drive Model 2, PlayStation 1, N64, GameCube. Up top here I can see some PlayStation 4 controllers, and if you like taking gaming on the go, we have some Nintendo 3DS, 2DS and some iPads for your portable gaming needs. And at the bottom here next to the consoles we have some boxed action figures and a PlayStation 3 console. So taking the action inside the shop, you can see how beautifully it is laid out, and these wonderful cabinets really draw your eye. The first thing I want to show you are these cabinets on the inside of the shop. They really are stunningly beautiful. They had me shambling towards them like some kind of zombie on the hunt for retro goodness. Here we have some boxed Super Nintendo games and they look fantastic, and some unboxed loose cartridges here as well. It's really great that the games are labeled and individually priced so you know exactly what you're paying, and some of the games and cartridges are even in protectors to keep them nice and fresh. I see Super Mario All-Stars there, a fantastic game for the Super Nintendo, and a Game Genie in the background there for all of you damn dirty cheaters. More boxed and unboxed Super Nintendo here, and below that we have some more Super Nintendo including import cartridges NTSC, and we have a mouse and controller in the background there. A Pro Pad for all of your turbo gaming needs. Up top here we have some PlayStation games, Resident Evil 2, Tekken, Tekken 2 and Tekken 3, great games, and some more PlayStation games here, Dino Crisis, Rayman, Wipeout, Medieval, Metal Gear Solid, Disruptor there, that's a cool Doom clone, and some Final Fantasy games. Down the bottom here we have some Nintendo 64 boxed and unboxed, and Swagman for the Sega Saturn. We also have Banjo-Kazooie and Zelda the Ocarina of Time. Man, I'm so bummed I did not get the gold cartridge when that game came out. What was I thinking? Down here we have some Sega Dreamcast games, a good selection there, and some NES games, Gunsmoke, Double Dragon down there, really awesome games. And at the bottom here we have some more games. It looks like we have some cassettes here, Commodore 64 or Spectrum. We have a controller there as well and a Game Boy attachment. Some Game Gear games, Dizzy and Breakout at the bottom there as well. And this next cabinet is headlined by the Beatles Rock Band. And over here we have some Mega Drive games, Zombies Ate My Neighbors and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Shining Force CD there as well. Over here we have some more Mega Drive games, Mega Bomberman and Thunder Force there, some fantastic games, and some more Mega Drive, more Mega than you can handle, Pac-Mania over there among Duel Master, and some GameCube games, and a guidebook for Zelda there as well. Over here we have some more Mega Drive games, Shining Force, love that game. We have Mutant League Football here as well, and Shinobi 3. Down the bottom here we have Sonic 3D, cool spot. Man, it was really cool to spot that. Over here we have Street Fighter 2, a Mega Games collection there, and below that we have some Master System games as well. This other cabinet greets you just as you come in with a sword on top of it and has some Switch accessories in this section. Below that it has some Nintendo Game & Watch, really cool to see that. And then we have some loose Game Boy cartridges here, very well organized and displayed for you to see what you want. And below that we have some GameCube games, Resident Evil and Resident Evil 2, probably the best console port of Resident Evil 2. Then we have some PlayStation 2 games here, Dragon Ball Z Budokai there, and some boxed Game Boy Advance games, and some more boxed Game Boy Advance games, including Rayman, which is really cool to see. Down here we have some boxed Game Boy Color, and some Game Boy Advance loose cartridges and a Game Boy Advance system to go with it. And below that we have some more handheld goodies, including The Little Mermaid for the Game Boy Advance. We also have some more PlayStation 2 games here, including some Crash games. And now I'd like to show you the shelves on the left hand side of the shop as you come in, with these striking and beautiful headers, really well organized. And above those we have a bunch of action figures. I see a Harley Quinn figure there, a really awesome selection. And I'd like to show you the Nintendo section first. They stock both new and retro games. We have a bunch of Switch games here. We have Flashback there, Fire Emblem Warriors, the special edition there, including the game by itself, some Lego games, Super Mario Odyssey, Street Fighter 2, and some Nintendo 3DS, awesome handheld system right there. And below that we have some PlayStation Portable, another fantastic handheld system, and some Nintendo DS stuff. Now, if you have a 3DS, it's backwards compatible to the Nintendo DS, which is really great. You can play all of those wonderful games when you're out and about on the go. Here we have some Xbox One games. I see The Sims. We also have Vampire and Tomb Raider, the new one as well. So they have new games as well. We have Skyrim there, Wolfenstein, Titanfall 2, Watch Dogs, Doom, that's a great game, and some WWE games from 2K, Final Fantasy there, Type O, and some original Xbox games. It's a great time to get original Xbox games, with many of them becoming backwards compatible as we speak. We have some Xbox 360 games here. We have Silent Hill Downpour, Lego Batman, Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, and the Final Fantasy Special Edition, and new games coming in all the time to fill these shelves. Now, these shelves at the bottom here, the games are at fixed prices, but as you can see, if you buy multiples, you get a bit of a deal there, so that's really cool. And there's a bunch of great games here. Halo, Lost Odyssey, Fable 2, there's Metro, there's Resident Evil 5, I see Samurai Warriors 2, which is a really fun hack and slash game. Down here we have Watch Dogs, Tony Hawk, and Two Worlds 2. On to PlayStation 4, we have Red Faction Remastered and Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is a fantastic game. Horizon Zero Dawn there, we have Minecraft, we have The Evil Within, The Witcher 3, and the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Here we have some Assassin's Creed games and Zombie. Over here we have Deus Ex and we have Fallout 4, and just below that we have some DVDs. The next section is the PlayStation 3 section, and I can see a Lego Batman game there, Indiana Jones, and a Sonic game, and then we have Skate 3, Minecraft, and a Final Fantasy game. And then we have some more fixed price games. Again, if you buy multiples of these, you're gonna get a great deal. And we have some great stuff here, WWE games, Max Payne 3, and then we have some more DVDs here, some anime DVDs, and below that, some more DVDs, and a couple of Blu-rays as well. All kinds of entertainment. And now we have the PlayStation 2 section. It's really great to see these games in alphabetical order. Makes it really nice and really easy to find exactly what you're looking for when you're shopping. And it's a great time to be collecting for the PlayStation 2. The majority of the games are pretty cheap and they're really easy to find as well. The PlayStation 2 is also backwards compatible with the PS1. I'm really lazy, so I tend to play the majority of my PS1 games on my PS2 just for ease and convenience. And below that we have some loose cartridges for the Nintendo 64, Mega Drive, Sega Master System, and Super Nintendo as well. Beneath that we have some books as part of a series, and we have some CDs hiding out there as well. Next to this we have the PlayStation 1 section. Again, I can't stress how awesome it is to have these in alphabetical order. It really is just a pleasure to find exactly what you're looking for. We have a bunch of great games here. I can see Micro Machines, I can see ODT, which is a fun game. Down here we have some more PlayStation 1 games, including Shadow Man, and I can see Syndicate Wars down there as well. More PlayStation games here, and I spy Time Crisis, and I love me some light gun action on the PlayStation 1. Here we have some Mega Drive games, including Space Harrier 2, with some Sega Saturn games next to that. Under that we have some Sega Master System, Miss Pac-Man and Alien Storm on the Master System. And over here we have some Wii U games. We have Star Fox Zero, Shovel Knight, Mass Effect 3. Here we have some Wii games, Super Mario Bros, Super Smash Bros, Final Fantasy The Crystal Berries, which is a really good game. The Wii had lots of great exclusives and it had really innovative controls, so it's a really fun system to play. And under that we have some GameCube games, an underrated system I think. And next to that we have some Disney Infinity for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. This is also where Nerd Entertainment's cards would be as well. And next to the cabinet that I really couldn't keep my eyes off is some Skylander figures. So we have some Skylander, loads of it, a great selection. If you're into Skylander, this is the place to be because they got tons of that stuff. They also have lots of other cool stuff like Lego and tons of collectibles here as well. So lots of stuff to check out if you're really into into that sort of thing. Some more Legos and comic books here next to some controllers and some extras. There's an Xbox 360 hard drive there, cables, and some game guides so you can get all of the information you need about your favorite games, and some gaming magazines below that as well. Really cool to see that. And behind the till we have some controllers on display, really nicely organized. Next to that we have a couple of fight sticks and some more action figures. I can see a Hitman one there, and next to that we have some more action figures, collectible figures on display just next to the window. And finally by the till we have some tempting Game Boy cartridges, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance as well. Everything looks really clean and everything's been tested. Let me show you what I got. So what games did I pick up? Well, first up I got Gremlins 2, the new batch for the NES. This is a top-down platformer based on the film by the same name. In this game, our furry little hero Gizmo must battle against the evil Mogwai who have eaten after midnight and transformed into terrible monsters. However, they're not the only thing you'll have to deal with. At the start of the game, you are freed from captivity at a lab, and you must deal with moving platforms, lab rats, bats, and giant tomatoes. You can fight back yourself by throwing regular tomatoes at the enemies, and the game also features a password save to continue where you left off. This was a good find for me because I had the manual but was missing the main game, and it's an awesome game in itself, so I'm very happy to have that. That's Gremlins 2, the new batch for the NES. Next up we have the Battle for Olympus for the NES. This is a side-scrolling platformer. When you exit an area, you get access to multiple other locations through a main map for you to work your way through. But some of these areas are tougher than others, so you may have to power yourself up before taking on the challenge. You start the game attacking your enemies with a sword, but you can gain other items as you progress through the game. And to help you out, you can get hints and useful information from NPCs that you find in houses throughout the areas. That's the Battle for Olympus for the NES. Next up we have Mystic Defender for the Sega Mega Drive. Another side-scrolling platformer. In this game, our hero Joe is on a mission to rescue Alexandra, who has fallen victim to the evil Zareth. Your main attack is an energy ball, not unlike a Kamehameha from Dragon Ball Z. You can fire small blasts quickly or charge them up for a big attack. The smaller blasts are more useful to quickly dispatch regular enemies, and the high damage attacks work very well in conquering boss fights. Your character also gains new attacks as you work your way through the game. That's Mystic Defender for the Sega Mega Drive. And finally we have Super R-Type for the Super Nintendo. This is a horizontal scrolling space shooter, and it's all kinds of super. The game gives you a versatile offense as you can either fire a continuous barrage of attacks or hold your shot for one massive charge blast. You can also pick up power-ups and upgrades throughout the game, including one you can attach to the back or front of your ship, which will take an extra hit before you're destroyed. You guys know I love space shooters, and I'm really excited to add this to my collection. That's Super R-Type for the Super Nintendo. So there you have it, that's my shop tour and pickups from GameZone Plymouth. If you liked the video, please leave a like or comment to let me know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe as that really helps me out. Thank you for watching, I've been MVL, and I will see you next time.